opening in game 2, but Flash, I think, is too strong against Nexus first.
It's interesting. I mean, he did a great job of just nailing that down. Mini did get unlucky in game number 2 because Flash scouted Nexus first. And that when you scout Nexus first on your first try as Terran, that like favors the Terran player. But if you scout it second or third, a lot of times you're not making Marines constantly or something like that, and then suddenly, you know, especially like if it's cross map and you weren't making your Marines consistently, then what are you going to do? Like, are you still going to do that bunker rush and kill it? Not nearly as likely. You can't scout it third and you have 2 Marines when you could have 5.
I do feel like Nexus first, the build itself, but also the counters to it, we're still trying to figure it out.
I agree with that.
Where it's like, okay, you can kill the Nexus. Is it worth it to send the SCVs?
I think if you scout it first, yes. I think if you scout it first, yes, absolutely yes.
Because
like you send a scout on 12 or 13, do it. But if anything other than that, man, it gets really complicated. A lot of things to weigh.
Yeah, I mean, what's weird about it, too, is that when they kill the Nexus, the game's not over for Protoss either, which is what's so funny about.
And sometimes you see a Terran take more damage.
2 races in these builds, You
send 8 SCVs and you lose them all to kill the Nexus. Is that worth it?
No.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Like, you lost like 4 there and then sent the rest home. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. What's funny about when you do that is Protoss usually still has more workers than the Terran.
Oh, yeah.
When it's all done, if the Nexus goes down. So
if you know you're going to lose the Nexus, you just pull your probes and you're like, well, okay.
So Flash moves on.
No
shocker
expected.
Right, par for the course.
Mini is someone I think we're going to see in ASL multiple times next year, to be honest.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to see more of them.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of great Protoss players. Protoss is a funny race. Everybody plays Protoss a little bit differently.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not the race that...
It's more stylistic than Terran and Zerg, I would say.
I would say so, yeah. So hopefully we'll see more of him. I think the builds he picked, if they were working out early on and going really well, he has more momentum, but they didn't parlay in the mid-game very well.
Yeah.
Game 1 with the DTs pushing forward, it was awesome, but it's so clear on Blue Storm that gully push will smash you, as well as just Flash cutting the map in half.
Yeah.
Some Protoss players have a hard time figuring out when to engage Terran pushes, even if you play the game all day, every day. Terrans control the units differently depending on who's playing.
Absolutely. They have
what
different
they target and
different percentages of units too. Like Siege Tank versus Vulture percentage is different for like every Terran player really. Like Flash generally, like some of these games we saw very Vulture heavy because of certain things that occurred, but a lot of games he has more tanks than any other Terran, and that's a big part of his staying power in the late game. But you know, some people will siege more tanks than other players. Some people will get Goliaths earlier. I mean, well, StarCraft 1 it's not exact, you know? We said that Protoss is most stylistic, but every race is stylistic. Like, everyone has their own fingerprint on how they play, and it's all different. And
because you have to do everything manually, you can get 5 top-tier pro gamers doing the same strategy, and it will come out looking so different.
Yeah, very true.
Grabbing siege tanks and having them spam click on Dragoons versus using hold position with Vultures to stop drops, where they lay their mines, how often they lay mines, it's crazy. Are we going to go?
I think we're going in the next series.
I guess so.
Which is going to be Last versus SoulKey, so help us out, spread the word on that. That's the best match in this first round, without any doubt. That's the best first round match. Like, Last is probably the second best Terran in the world, even if his offline results aren't really showing it. And SoulKey is absolutely one of the best Zergs, maybe the best ZVT out there. So this should be like a sick match.
SoulKey is somebody who people are already saying this, but that SoulKey's the best Zerg in the world, but we may have to all conclude that he's the best Zerg in the world if he can keep up and get a little bit better with his results.
Yeah. Well, he lost some ZVZs to go out of ASL this season. A lot of people were pegging him for a finals appearance, but ZVZ is, that can be a pain. So luckily we do not see him there. We can see him in one of his matchups that he's shown to be very strong in. The last half of the year, his ZVT has been magnificent, even beating Flash in the ASLT battle tournament. So I'm excited to see him against Last, because if there is a player who can play the same strats to a similar level as Flash in this matchup, it's Last. So to see SoulKey against that is almost a preview of the next round if SoulKey wins, right? Where it's SoulKey against Flash at that point. So this is going to be awesome. Can't wait.
Last is this guy who is truly an inspiration to me. Because he's somebody that just proves that it's never too late to pick up a game that people would basically call old.
Yeah.
Right? There's really nothing that compares to StarCraft 1 as far as just like legacy goes. And a lot of times with new players, that makes them shy away.
Yeah.
From like, oh, it's too late, or I got to find something else. No, it's never too late. Last. Pick this up way later. It is one of the scariest Terran players of all time.
Oh yeah, he's super good, man. It's pretty crazy to see this guy play. Looks like we're starting.
Woo. Here we go. TVT. SoulKey versus Last. I feel like SoulKey should get a special reward for being the guy who did it in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, you know?
Well, if he wins a championship, I'm totally on board with you on that.
He may pull it off.
And that would be a Korean championship, I guess, because Flash technically did win an IEM, which was pretty damn stacked. But
yeah,
it's not the same as a GSL that SoulKey won.
So we got both players hugging the left side of the map. 4-player map here. This should go into a pretty long game. This is something we're kind of remarking on a lot nowadays, but it's worth saying every time. We need to see when does Terran, or excuse me, when does Zerg take the third base and can Terran stop it?
Yeah.
Zerg cannot operate without a third gas in the late game. I think this is a rule that is more so true than any other matchup.
Yes. It's like ZBT, in a lot of ways, has become, and not always, but I think it's more mathematically solved for the early game than any other matchup because, yeah, there's all sorts of different things that can occur, but in a standard macro game, like, basically you run out of steam against Terran if you don't have that third gas reasonably quickly. I mean, you can do things to change that. You surround his army, right, and kill his army once. Suddenly it's like, oh, okay, like, we reset that. But if it's a normal game where people aren't screwing up hugely, without that third gas, you can't. Eventually, Terran gets so much that you just die.
You know what's weird about it? TVP is kind of the opposite of that, where it's very, very gray area because there's so much control stuff you can do.
Yeah.
Where I think TVZ is so mapped out.
Yeah.
Things don't die fast in TVP. Things die insanely fast in TVZ.
Yeah. Well, eventually it's like, you're just macroing Marines, right? Eventually you get like a radiate out too, and I mean, if you don't have that third gas, all of your value for everything goes away as Zerg, and you're like, oh no, I can't do it. And I mean, this is not a completely hard and fast rule, guys. Everything in the life is complicated.
We are doing our best to interpret this for you guys, because you know what's weird about with StarCraft 1 for Artosis and me is we've known this game so well. Way before we were ever casting. Yeah. And this game was never patched. You know, StarCraft 2 is in a constant state of evolution. This is just, we've been in the same iteration pretty much the whole time as far as balance goes and stats and what costs what.
17 years or so in the same patch, right? Wasn't our last patch in 2000?
No, it was like 18 years.
18 years?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it's been a long time, guys, that we've been playing exactly the same version. The things that change are the quality of the players and you know, very slowly the metagame does shift, but it does shift.
Tosis.
Yes.
We got a link rush.
Oh my. Oh my. He's got to get those SCVs down there.
Good.
Okay, let's see how well he can control here.
Okay, here we go.
Good micro so far on both sides. Look at that. Ooh.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This could be the beginning of the end here.
Yeah, well, this is very painful. Like, Last will technically live through this, but not in a state that he wanted.
Marines
and
SCVs, amazing. Just SCVs, not so much. Oh, wow. The lead that SoulKey has from this is just insane.
Yeah.
So crazy.
This is, SoulKey has gained a gigantic advantage. He's killed like 3 Marines and several SCVs. Like, ouch. Surprised, right, that Last only had 1 SCV at that ramp for a minute. If he had 2, then this whole thing looks different, but...
a worse player would have kept making links the whole time.
Yeah.
But SoulKey probably not expecting to do as much damage as he did. Drone up pretty nicely.
Okay, he's going to check the ramp. Has 3 now. That's the amount you need on this type of ramp to completely block lings. Do you think he did that because he knows that Last has a harder time offline?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think also some Terrans are super loose with their openings, TBZ, and can just be punished for it. I think Last might be one of those guys.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Some of these Terrans, considering that their buildings fly, the fact that they will still make a command center at the location where they're expanding.
Yeah.
I get why they're doing it. It's a little bit faster, but you're just at such a high risk, you know?
Well, here you see, look at this.
Look
SoulKey is so patient. Like this is a tournament pro right here.
Yeah.
Like he's just like threatening.
Yeah.
He doesn't expect for this to do much except slow Last down. Look at that.
You can't mine now.
Sits in the arc. You have to keep
So
some SCVs
cool.
down. He can't be 100% sure there aren't more lings in the back. He has to be very careful. Lost mining time and stuff. What's he lost? Some hit points and 1 ling? So worth. Worthest of worth.
Now layer inbound. This is going to be tough. Last is trying to build up to a point where he can actually get the momentum and the tech to start to assert himself on the map. And to be honest, 3 hatch, layer inbound here, plenty of Zerglings. Zerg can tech whatever direction he wants, and Terran may still falter.
Yeah. I think, this Spire coming up, I'm not at all surprised to see that. At this level, it's odd to see, a Hydralisk spend first. It's easier for Terran to deal with in a lot of ways. But I like SoulKey's position a lot in this situation, right? The Spire is already on the way. Academy has just now started. I haven't seen an engineering bay. In fact, he doesn't have an engineering bay. So that's a big issue. His scans are going to come online if he gets them instantly, like right before the mutas. So this is...
Dude, he actually is going to pounce, I think, with just legs.
God.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so good.
Is this going to work? Maybe it is.
I think so. No, SCVs are too good.
Yeah. SCV control important. Okay, well, he shaved off some Marines, which is not bad. One of the big things is he's killed SCVs, he's killed Marines, he's kept pressure on with these lings. We don't have turrets yet. And if he can continue to keep him busy and get Mutalisks, if he gets 9 mutas over here when there's no turrets, the game is over. It's SoulKey's.
Look at the tactics here from SoulKey. He's so sick.
Yeah. Oh my God, 2 more Marine kills. Oh my God. Dude, SoulKey is just ripping him apart. If he does not get his turrets up, like the second this eBay's done, he's done.
This is pretty scary here from SoulKey. I feel like I'm watching Jadon, just with the tactics, how he maneuvers.
I feel like I'm watching me versus Jadon, man. This is so rough.
The SCVs are certainly vulnerable. Reducing the Marines overall gives the mutas a lot more oomph when they actually come in. And
he is building his turrets, by the way. So he is just barely getting them up in time. What great, this shows how strong a player he is as well, to have these up just in the nick of time despite all the damage he's taken.
Yeah.
Like, he still knows the timing. He's like, okay, I got to get these up now.
I think he can just go for it, though. The Marine count's actually too low. Yeah, see?
He certainly is pressing. I mean, if he kills all these Marines, gets those medics possibly as well, that's huge.
Okay, he's going to go for the turret.
Oh! That's big. Breaking that turret right there.
He's going to be over the barracks, too. This is the Terran's worst nightmare.
Yes.
Honestly, it's so hard to stop this now.
That almost turned for Last, but SoulKey is dominating from here.
With the link, there it is. SoulKey, you are too good.
That turret break, man. For a moment there, he lost a muta or 2. And I was like, wait a minute, are you supposed to turn around here? Nope, just kills it and wins the game off of that. So well played by SoulKey. Holy crap.
SoulKey, it really did start with that initial link rush. It's hard to emphasize just how brittle, just how fragile Terran is.
Yeah, in the early game.
But when they get enough, they're terrified. But if you can just chip away early on, the the punishing moves you can have like that are insane.
But Zergling Rush gets in your base and kills multiple early Marines and some SCVs, and you're losing mining time. Your comeback potential is almost gone, unless that was like a 6-pool or a 4-pool. And that wasn't that from SoulKey, so
2017.
well done.
Fight.
Okay, we're going into game 2. Let's do this. SoulKey versus Flash. Hopefully we see a little bit of stronger mid game here. I guess good early game and a good mid game here for last. SoulKey, man, tactical genius guy. This guy is moving up.
Yeah. We'll see if this game, a Zergling Rush, occurs. Definitely games do not need to look like they just looked.
No. In fact, if you're trying to learn the game, you usually recommend that somebody does not like Rush. Stop trying to do crazy stuff. Let's get you down with the basics.
So, Fighting Spirit, they're both sharing the bottom. You know, for SoulKey here, if this proceeds in a normal play, like 5 racks Terran against regular Muta Zerg,
right?
This is where Last can really show a lot of his strength because he's a mechanical player. You know, he's very, very good at macro. He can spend that money on those Marines, move them around the map, deny that third base.
So we got both players now hugging the bottom here. We will see if this game can go in a proper mid-game. So we're going to say it again because I think, you know, this game is so alien to so many people. If you're watching top-tier play, we always want to see, can the Zerg get the third up or can Terran stop it? Because the whole trajectory of the game changes entirely based off those parameters.
Yeah. So we'll see, you know, if they do this kind of normal, quote-unquote, standard play from both sides. Sometimes you'll see the Zerg play a map like Fighting Spirit a little bit differently just because it can be so hard to get that third base up. Like, for instance, ASL Finals we just had on this map in particular, Hero went for a Hydralisk Den at the same time as Mutalisk Tech in, you know, a play that's somewhat risky because then you don't have enough mutas to really do damage, but you're sneaking out a few lurkers to hold a third. And that can be risky when the Terran sniffs that out and figures out what's going on. They can really control the map.
So this matchup's been one that we always thought was super mapped out, but you know, when we switched over to StarCraft 2 to cast that full time, we weren't paying that much attention to StarCraft 1. You know, we sucked up all of our psychological resources in some sense. But when we started casting StarCraft 1 again, both Artosis and I were blown away that people actually went mech.
Yeah.
Going bio early into mech later. That, by all accounts, would be viewed as impossible 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it would be viewed as the stupidest thing you've ever seen. There's no way you can do it safely, but Terran's figured it out. There's always been, in TVZ, since the very, very, very early days, this, I guess, somewhat open conversation about, do you want to go mech or just go bio against Zerg?
Yeah.
And there were great players in Korea and outside Korea. One player outside Korea, I always think of as Yosh, always going mech.
Yeah.
Against Zerg, and he would make it work too, making everybody scratch their heads and go, huh. But never did we have a situation where you go bio, get 1-1, then switch into mech.
Yes.
It was so weird to see it actually occur and become trendy and work.
Yeah, it's a wildly different strategy, and Last is quite good at that, so it is something we can see in a late game here. Now, in this particular game, he's trying to scout, but the drone has blocked him on the ramp, and obviously SoulKey is spending quite a bit of minerals not having that mine, but blocking the scouting, it adds this degree of uncertainty for Last, right? This is something that can you know, force things like quicker comm stats or more fearful play, you know, less move outs. And of course, you got to account for a lot of things as Terran here. Like, he could be massing Lings in his main base. You don't know. He could be going for a quick lurker den or something in the main base. You don't know. So it's a little bit tough.
That uncertainty for Terran is terrifying.
Yeah.
If you're a Terran player, you just need to know.
If everyone played with Vision on, Terran would never lose.
Absolutely.
That would just be it.
They are too good if you just could see. So causing any distress, any uncertainty, any what-ifs for the Terran is already a win for the Zerg or the Protoss. And so keeping him in the dark, how many hatches does he have? Is he going to go Ling speed? You don't know. Keep Blast guessing.
Well, right now, SoulKey has enough Lings out that he can mine with that drone, keep that SCV away as well, chase it down eventually.
Right.
Last, look at that, building the bunker. He does not need the bunker, but he does not know because he doesn't have an SCV inside the main base watching what's being produced.
Exactly.
If you get the SCV inside the main, you can keep it alive until Zergling speed pretty easily at the level that Last plays at, and then like you can just skip a bunker forever, or at least until your move out, right?
Unless I missed it, there should be a Spire coming up here. There it is now. So he's going to go for Ling Muta, and this is just an overall strong play. Ling's comboed with Mutas. It's insane what they can take on as far as Marine Medic go. It's crazy. The damage comes out so fast. As scary as Stim is with medics, Mutas with glaives bouncing, Lings with speed coming in, the sheer volume of units, the fact that Marines are not all necessarily going to target one thing.
Oh, totally.
Nor should they necessarily either. It can be super problematic.
Now look at this. This is a very specific build that Last is doing here. He got the Academy more quickly than the Engineering Bay. So instead of being completely macro-focused, he has gone to get Stim and Medics to try to break through here to at least force a lot of things.
And some of this is based off the position right now that they're both in.
Absolutely.
The bottom.
And look at this. These Lings of SoulKey, all he needs to do is slow this down so his Sunkens can finish. And he's done it. The micro of SoulKey here was very good. He was very on top of things. He's going to have 3 Sunkens now. And like that doesn't make Last's play poor. This was not any sort of all-in. He's still in a very economic position. But this isn't, for instance, a very quick 5 racks with which he could consistently put on pressure now. If SoulKey just makes units for a little bit, it forces Last to stay home. And I think SoulKey should be able to get his 3rd base up without too much issue.
So, very well handled by SoulKey. Always good with his control. Factory now on the way. Terran absolutely has to get a science vessel. There's really no TVZ where you don't have science vessels as kind of the cherry on top of the Terran army cake, if you will, Tosis.
Yes.
And one of the reasons for that is the threat of lurkers. In this case, it is a Ling Muta combo, but lurkers are basically an inevitability against any Terran who's going for infantry.
This interception is magic. Oh my God, he had him down where he thought they'd come, and then they took so long that he went up.
So crazy.
God, he's so good. When I see play like that, Tasis, all those speeches we gave about
so
you can be good,
Yeah.
makes me feel stupid because I'm like, can I ever do something like that? It's crazy.
It's so subtle, but it's so crazy how good he is. Now look at this. 1 fire bat here. Why? Check for the 3rd base. The big story of TVZ.
Yeah,
that Zerg needs a 3rd. Terran does not want Zerg to get it.
Wow. Well, that is going to be where he takes a 3rd. The Queen's Nest is already up, by the way, so SoulKey really just running towards that hive tech. Want to see that 3rd hatch going down shortly here. The Muta's trying to keep Last back, but SoulKey isn't committing too heavily to them. He is spending his gas on some other tech.
So, Terran staying back now. Zerg continuing to rotate around, looking for any opening. Any stray Marines he's going to try to shoot down. Last knows that. Last is going to proceed with caution. Very hard for Terran to control his army pushing out here.
And he's going to go for that 3rd in the top left, but the 2 Hydras, 3 Hydras, in fact, already on the way. I like the 3 Hydra players, Tasteless. 2 lurkers on top of a ramp can be broken by 2 groups of bio, whereas 3, you can have 470 supply of Marines and it all dies.
And it's still a game of chance, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, it's crazy. But with 3 of them, and look at that, you morph
the 3rd one is
egg
actually
late.
The block,
and then, well, obviously you utilize the lurker as well, but just putting it there, bio can't get past, and the back 2 can get burrowed exactly where you want them. So, just some textbook awesome play going on right now. Last is controlling the center of the map, but the Defiler Mound's going to be up soon. As his 3rd hatches, he's going to get a Nidus up, and things are fine for SoulKey.
Great interception here with the Mutas. Especially the medics, any medic he takes out, The difference between having, let's say, 2 medics and 4 is so huge.
It's huge.
So getting those little assassinations off is just so important.
It costs gas. They take longer to build than Marines. It's awesome. Now look at this. He's pushing his sunks up. Oh, those are going to be hold position.
Dude,
markers.
these pre-scans, look at this. He's so good.
Yeah, and they're on hold position, so he gets completely free kills.
Are we
there.
going to see hold position lurker moved out of the meta? Like, don't do that, man. That's not safe.
Maybe against last and Flash.
Scan there every time.
It's pretty impressive. Now that frontal sunken was to try to force the tanks to siege up more far back so they could not hit these on their first siege. Didn't end up working this time,
no,
but
unfortunately not.
Yeah.
Nice snipe. Takes out one tank, reducing the push power into half.
Dude, this game, I feel like both of them are just playing so textbook well this game. It's crazy.
Well, this is the game we were looking for, right?
Yeah.
Standard TVZ. Oh my God, here comes the dropship play.
Funny. Scourge are a bit faster than dropships. I don't think they're going to get there in time,
This is also very par for the course in this matchup. The dropship coming out, the drop into the main to get that third base. Wow. Just barely not there in time.
Uh-oh. Okay, the Lings get out, so he will save this.
Nicely done. No medic here. This is actually super common. You have all your medics with this push, and the 8 Marines are there just to try to sim and kill the hatchery or workers, whatever they can get.
Yeah. Now, with the Filers out, this is going to slow the game down quite a bit, most likely. That's a huge pickoff! Oh my God, Chills! He just got the first vessel.
Yeah,
and it had 75 energy.
Big win there. Big win.
75 is a radiate level.
Yeah, exactly. This next Dark Swarm is going to deny any more of this push. Oh my God, Blast. Stop moving!
Ooh, brutal. And now the mutas come in, will help clean up absolutely everything.
This is the best handling you could ever ask for from a Zerg.
Yeah.
Getting into mid-game. Keeping the third, getting that Dark Swarm in time, taking the vessel out. Perfect.
Now, he's going into mech. He's adding 2 facts right now. He's getting his armories up, all this stuff. But he doesn't have map control. So I'm looking at this game. I absolutely put SoulKey as an advantage going forward. Like, he doesn't have a lot right this second, but he cannot be killed right now. And Lass is taking 2 bases at once, which is what you're supposed to do. But is he going to be able to actually hold on to everything and do a successful transition?
That's the big question. So here's where Terran becomes quite elastic. They start to expand out. They're switching into mech. Zerg has to hold up all harass while still trying to keep control of the map. And this is really where we see the Terran explosivity come into play. They really just burst out, start to have bases everywhere.
Yeah. Well, when you get your mines everywhere, you get your siege tanks out there and stuff, then suddenly you can hold a lot of positions if you're in position correctly.
But SoulKey's doing a great job. Look at this. How many workers is he going to kill?
Without map control, without a presence out there, he's allowed to fly around with these mutas, do some harassment.
Oh, totally, yeah.
I mean, it's
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the position for SoulKey, man.
If he could just get that SCV,
oh, that would have been huge.
If he could kill the SCV, that CC may never get up. This game would be totally different had he denied the CC from being finished.
And the muta's going to fly back now. Vessel should be able to catch these and irradiate, so these mutas are going to be much like, oh yeah.
Nicely done.
Oh boy. He even picks the Scourge off. So the mutas are not very useful anymore. Those are going to do whatever for the rest of the game.
Really, beyond the mutas, Terran's basically got Zerg contained now. You get the muta count low enough, it's not like Zerg has other opportunities to try to get in and harass. Spider mines are too good.
Yeah, he doesn't really have like active units on the map right at this second. But what he does have is that 4th base on the way. There's no real pressure on him, just Spider Mine contains. So I'm still looking at this game, and I'm like, okay, SoulKey can absolutely do this. If Last wins this, I'm going to be actually, like, and the thing is, this is not over by any means, but just knowing the skill level of SoulKey and what he has right now and how little damage he's truly taken, I am liking this for him, right? Like, there's vultures out, but that's not the scary part. The scary part is when you start to get a lot of siege tanks. When the Terran starts throwing his bio away, that's when you're like, oh, he's going to be maxed on mech momentarily here. And that's what's scary. But this transitional phase, when those barracks are first lifted off, flying out, Terran can't do much but try to contain you.
So, the mech switch is in full force. Now, you might look at the supplies and say, whoa, Terran's way ahead. Actually, Zerg is always down in supply. If Zerg gets maxed out, it is hell on earth for whoever they're playing against. A maxed out Zerg is the reason why we do not want unlimited unit selection in this game.
It's very well said.
It would break the game entirely.
Yeah, it would be pretty insane. Like, maxed out mech technically can deal with it if positioned correctly. That's about it.
Exactly.
But, okay, so looking at this, right, he's laying down the mine still. He should be producing a lot of tanks at home at this point. His bio is still walking around a bit. Looks like he might have 2 or 3 vessels around. He should have about 3. Ulchless Cavern is coming up for SoulKey, so that's the high eco play here from Zerg. This is, when you see the Ulchless Cavern from a player the level of SoulKey, that normally means they're going to try to brute force you and kill you through Ling Ultra and some drops. We'll see if he's able to do that. I think it's a good choice for this situation. The economy is going to be huge in a minute.
Okay. We have Lings coming down now. Zerg is basically bracing for the mech impact here. Like, you know, Artos was highlighting earlier, you need to have this proper tech to deal with this. You need to have Dark Swarm, you need to have drop play. And this really becomes like a war of who fatigues first on some level.
Yeah, it's, and there's a lot of different ways to play this from both sides, to be honest. Right now, he's sieging up outside of this area. Okay, so he's cutting this right in half right there, but look at this drop. This is fantastic. Mech can't deal with lurkers burrowed under Dark Swarm.
Yeah, there's nothing they can really do about it.
Yeah, you just sit there and wait. You kill the Defiler, and then you kill it all when it's done.
Drop is truly the ultimate adversary to mech. Here we go. Great play. So nicely done. If he just gets one more scourge hit that vessel, it's going to be huge. But Terran needs to cling to the upper right side of the map.
These moves are really quite awesome from SoulKey.
Oh, yeah.
Look at his supply just skyrocket at the moment. His Muta's going to come back into play for a moment as well. Look at that, no turrets here, and he sends the 4 Mutas. That is so annoying. That is so annoying to deal with.
It really is.
And it, like, forces you to send some Goliaths up. It forces you to even have Goliaths. And, like, I mean, obviously you want Goliaths eventually, but right now you need a lot of tanks. A lot.
And it's also keeping that, you know, Goliath to Vulture tank equilibrium off balance. You want them to overmake Goliaths or undermake Goliaths constantly when they're dealing with the air versus... It's kind of crazy. This is where we get to super advanced Brood War.
This strat is a super advanced strat. Very, very difficult to do the mech tech switch. And the thing is, looking at it, I'm sure, you know, it kind of looks like Last is doing a great job, but SoulKey hasn't shown his force yet. He's building up to what he's going to do. We've seen a couple small drops and stuff, a little bit of tech switching going on, but we'll see shortly. He's actually made a lot of mutas now.
So this is one way to deal with mech, is to do a massive muta switch, because you're sieging up in the map, you're trying to plant in a very specific location. If you can just mass up enough mutalisks, suddenly all the tanks on the map die.
Yeah.
The game seesaws in the Zerg's favor.
You have to, like, run them away and stuff.
And see, he's hiding some too.
Yeah.
You show a certain amount, they try to pick the right amount of Goliaths to deal with that, then all of a sudden it avalanches.
And the thing is, he's going to have to make a lot of Goliaths to deal with this at all, but really what he needs is quite a few vessels. He's lost 2-3 vessels already this game. So this is a big, big problem. And now look at this. Instead of having a forward line, he's getting spread out. SoulKey's going to get in here and get on top of it.
SoulKey doing a great job. Are his mutas upgraded? We know.
Plus one armor, okay. I mean, not the greatest, but that's oftentimes the case. You can't buy Spire upgrades while doing everything else.
Right, right. So Terran's now lost control of the map. All these tanks are going to go down. Ling Lurker is a real threat again, especially with Dark Swarm. I think SoulKey can actually possibly take this.
Oh, I think he's, like, I think he's got it, absolutely.
Yeah.
I felt like he was ahead basically since the mech transition started. Last didn't have the type of control he needed. He wasn't able to really slow down bases at all. And, like, he has a decent amount of siege tanks still, but this is super tough.
Okay, what's in this Overlord? Oh my god, so much damage here. And with the Lurkers burrowing, god, he is just killing it, man.
Yeah, he is. Fantastic play out of SoulKey.
Nice job by Last, though. He's got enough turrets. His bases are actually still safe from the
That's true.
threat.
And the longer it stays safe, the closer you get to max as a mech player, I mean, that becomes insane as well. But SoulKey is maxing out. He's got a great, varied set of units here. Let's see where he hits next. If he can find a weak spot, he can break through and kill a base.
We do have a maxed out Zerg here. That is basically the scariest thing in the game. Zerg coming up now. Now the siege tanks may actually be spread out enough. These ultras don't do the damage they're supposed to do.
Now the Darkstorm's definitely helped quite a bit, and he is killing a decent amount. The Muta's still doing damage in this top right, and the economy of last is drying up because of this.
Yeah, if you can just get rid of the upper right, not just this space, but the one to the left as well, that's all you need.
Right now, this was one of 3 mining bases for last.
Right,
His main and Nash are already empty. So this was a gigantic kill he just did. And all the units have gone north to deal with that. Now he can actually attack mid or south.
Hey, yeah, actually, I like the play of going for mid here.
Yeah.
Terrence had to try to fortify so hard in the upper right. These Lings and Ultras coming in here as well. This is all perfect.
Yeah, look at this. Just wrecked right now, man. SoulKey putting on a couple dynamite ZVTs. Really outclassing Last. Like, Last played very well, but this is a super hard thing to pull off, and SoulKey might be the hardest player to pull it off against.
Yeah. SoulKey really exhibiting how to get a Terran off balance here. Last is now at 143 supply. It's a tall mountain to climb to get back to maxing out. And Zerg is just continuing to pump Lings and Ultras. Armor number 2 now, nicely done. GG, that's it. Wow. SoulKey is so good.
Yeah,
he is so good.
It's pretty wild. Super well played. You know, last he tried to put some pressure on earlier with the bio. He went into a small siege tank push that did not break him before Darkstorm, so that was an issue. And then he kind of did when he did the mech switch, it didn't feel quite right? Like, he lost his first vessel. You can never do that. That's so important, that first vessel.
Yeah.
Like, you need to start putting that irradiate pressure on. You need to, you know, make the mutas not harass you by hitting the irradiate.
The push was stopped, the drop was denied, and the vessel was killed. Losing on all 3 fronts like that for Terran means the mech transition is so much squishier. Yeah.
Very, very tough for Last that game. But SoulKey, I mean, he's showing his form. I'm getting chills thinking about this. We're going to see Flash for SoulKey in a best-of-3 later today.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be a few hours, but we're going to see that.
I actually think SoulKey can give Flash a run for his money.
The games that we just saw there, absolutely. I think he can take it down, Flash. I don't know that he will, but that was rock-solid play. There was, like, that game in general, both of them were just making all the right moves against each other, and eventually SoulKey made less mistakes, and it was just like, what's up?
Really beautiful, huge Muta switch. It's tough for Terrence to detect that coming, too.
Yeah.
If you suddenly have 25 Mutalisks, and they just maybe have like 6 Goliaths, they're going to get crushed. And then you lose all those tanks. That's where all of your gas was going the entire game.
And
crazy shutdown.
Let's not forget, right? The little drop he did in the top right set up the Muta tech switch, actually, when he dropped the Lurkers with Darkstorm and a few Lings. Because Last was like, okay, let's deal with that real quick, right? Sends a bunch of stuff up there. Scourge come in, kill extra vessels. If you have 3-4 vessels with Irradiate, then the Mutalisk tech switch doesn't work. You fly in with the Mutas, the vessels come down and kill them all. And you're like, oh no! Like, you need that to do something.
And having Irradiate to soften those Mutas up so you don't get that momentum as well is super important.
Yeah.
Really, if you're taking out all the gas cost units for Terran consistently, Terran's always going to lose.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes people prefer going Marine Medic with a few vessels. The Marines, mostly, it's just all minerals.
Yeah. If you go SK Terran as well, like, even if they kill 3-4 vessels, not a problem. All your gas is going towards vessels and upgrades. You still got those irradiates out there.
That's right. Yeah. Are we going to go into the next match? Are we going to have a commercial?
No,
here?
I believe we are setting up for an interview with both Flash and SoulKey.
That's right. That's
right. So hopefully we'll have that up pretty soon here and see
what we know where Flash is.
What they're thinking about that. Flash right now, yeah, who knows, man.
He's got his golden ruler and he's going around measuring different things.
So early in the day, he said maybe he's asleep somewhere. He went back to his hotel.
He was saying earlier, he's like, I feel fine, but I never wake up this early.
Yeah.
So
playing games in the morning? Who would ever do that?
Not if you're a gamer, man, you're probably not a morning person. or you are forced to wake up early, but you would ideally not be doing that.
Yeah, yeah. People like to play at nighttime.
That's what we do. We mess up our circadian rhythm, Tosis.
Yes.
These are the sacrifices we make
I know
to play the games we love.
Many, many years of being awake during Korean hours before I moved to Korea. And then I moved to Korea, and it was no jet lag involved.
No. You were on the right rhythm at that point in time.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are these players?
I don't know.
Where's this interview? I want to go on my restroom break, but I can't, Artosis.
Yeah.
We have to wait.
Long
This
day
is
ahead. We are
the burden we have.
1/3 of the way through now at this point.
Short games, though.
Yeah, so it might not actually be 1/3, but 1/3 of the matches are done for today.
That's true. I am waiting to see if SoulKey's going to have that big moment. Start dominating in StarCraft 2, because he's the guy who's actually crossed into both games and could dominate entirely.
I think he can win against Flash, to be honest, so.
Okay, we're going to the interview now. I think we have just an interview with SoulKey. I believe Flash is having an interview with at another booth somewhere here.
Yeah, everyone wants to interview with that guy.
WEGL 2017 스타크래프트 리마스터 슈퍼파이트 지금 막 4강 진출을 확정 중 김민철 선수 만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
All right. We have SoulKey.
오늘 김민철 선수
You made it to the semifinals. Congratulations. Thank you.
끝내고 4강 진출 확정 지으셨는데요. 승리 소감부터
Seems like
들어볼게요.
your condition is fantastic. 2-0. How do you feel after that victory? Well, throughout the game, actually, I felt like I was playing really well, and I think that'll continue into the semifinals.
잘하는 테란으로 알려진 선수인데 이 다음에 있게 될
Last is a top-tier Terran,
계속해서 테란전을 치르는
but now you have to face Flash in the semifinal. You know, how's your preparation going into that? Says, I think Last is the second best Terran after Flash, so since I defeated him, I think that my round of 8 match against Last there was actually good preparation, a good warm-up to play against Flash. So how do you predict your match to go against Flash? You know, it's really tough, but looking at Flash's condition, to be honest, I think I have a pretty good chance. Kind of disappointed that we don't have Flash in the interview here as well, but do you have any words for him? Says, well, you just won the ASL Championship, so take a break from winning tournaments for a moment. It's my turn to win a tournament. All right, guys, that is it for the interview. Winner prediction time. The greatest part of the show for the people on the stream. SoulKey's going to pull out raffle ticket numbers for people in the audience that bet he would win, and they're going to win keyboards and stuff. Of course, you won't see what they're winning, though.
This is by far the greatest part of this whole tournament.
Yes.
Is this?
This is so funny to me that we put this on.
I don't know why we
on
televise
air.
this, but okay.
See, she's probably looking at who won, who might be walking towards them. S24124, as if anyone would care.
Do you guys have that? No, you don't, because you're not here.
I see no one in the audience with earbuds in, so no one can hear us. It is broadcast in Korean here, obviously. So yeah.
I'm ready to bail, Artosis. I need to use my restroom break soon here. So if you guys come down here, we do have giveaways.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you could be down here, you're messing up. Get down here. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, more StarCraft 1. Don't go away.
Superstar, you're a superstar. See that diamond in the sky, running up, feel